Got to wonder if when Joey Baker returned to the dugout after his 1-2-3 inning, if he didn't get a big hug and kiss from Ed and Rich. After last night, the staff giving up 17 runs and the pitchers really having trouble getting ahead in the count, Baker went out and made short work of the Jackals. 1-2-3. Joey Baker, 6'5", 200-pounder. 23 years of age, a 16th round selection by the Kansas City Royals out of San Jose State. He looks determined out there, throwing the ball. The infielder's throwing the ball around the infield, and the last guy to get it's Dahlberg. He looks up, and there's Baker standing there with his glove out, like, okay, not playing around with the ball. Give me the ball. Let me go back to work. He's ready. He's ready to rock. Fastball catches the outside corner. 1-2 the count to Kane. And I'm telling you, I can't see Ed Noddle and Rich Sever in the dugout from where I'm positioned in the broadcast booth. However, I got to think that they're nodding their heads, maybe with a little smile on their face, watching Baker work very briskly. That ball is fouled back out of play, and the count remains 1-2. He's getting ahead of the count, throwing strikes, working rapidly, good mound presence. Baker has the sign from Rosario. Payoff pitch in there for a called strike. And now it is 4 strikeouts and 5 batters for Joey Baker. Albert's made a couple of decent plays down at third base. And now lines one deep to left field. Long run for Rich. A diving effort, and he makes the grab. Billy Rich with a highlight reel catch takes away extra bases from Jake Dahlberg. Rich was at the Rox tryout camp at Stonehill College. The Rox really liked him. He just, at the time, just didn't have a spot for him. He was probably the most impressive guy there, but did not get an invitation from the Rox. Did not have a spot for him. He wound up at New Jersey. Hits that ball high in the air to center field. Cosby with a long run back to the warning track, back to the wall, reaches up and makes the catch. Chris Cosby with a nice grab. And there's another nice job by Cosby. I mean, that's another play that a lot of center fielders just don't make.
The road trip ended and the big day finally arrived. The home opener in Brockton, Campanelli Stadium, was ready for baseball, but talk about down to the wire. Construction was not totally completed. The offices weren't ready, the locker rooms were not totally done, and when the construction crews finally cleared out that morning, the Rox staff really had to scramble to sweep and clean the seats and put on final touches of paint. But the stadium was finally going to host its first game, and what an amazing facility. almost wasn't sitting in that seat for the home opener due to a disagreement with the general manager. Despite the fact that he had told me up front that he hated broadcasters, I thought we had established a pretty good working relationship. I was working some long hours, multitasking, getting a lot of stuff accomplished, but right before our first road trip, I found a note in my box from Dave Eccles which read, "See me about another roommate." Okay, first, a little background, real quick. Our original deal was the team was going to put my intern and me up at a dorm at Stonehill College. For whatever reason, that deal was not completed, and I was told I needed to find a place ASAP. They were paying my intern only about $250 a month. I wasn't getting a whole lot more, so I agreed to room with him. Trouble was, finding an affordable, decent, furnished apartment in Brockton for just the summer was next to impossible. I finally located this place. Yeah, if only it had been the entire house. It was split into about half a dozen units. The one we got was a split level, but was actually a very small 1-bedroom, 1-bath. The bedroom and bath were upstairs. The intern got that, so I had to walk through his room just to go to the bathroom. Downstairs, there was a little kitchen and a tiny living room with no bed downstairs, just a rather uncomfortable couch. There was, however, a long closet underneath the stairs. I took the cushions off the couch, tossed in some blankets, and made my bed on the floor of that closet. Nice and dark, and it blocked out some of the noise from my roommate's constant blaring of his music. I got much better rest in hotels on the road. It wasn't cheap either. We worked a deal with the owner that he got a radio spot during our broadcast, but the rent was still $800 a month. Maybe Dave assumed the Rox had traded out more and we were paying no rent. Or maybe he heard we were in a split level and assumed we had plenty of space. Because I went into his office, he informs me we'd have another roommate, mentions nothing about paying rent. Pretty sure he was looking for a place for muralist Andy Nelson, who was a heck of a nice man. I wouldn't have had a problem rooming with him. If we had any room, we didn't. When I tried explaining the layout of our place to Dave, he just got very angry and said he didn't care if the guy slept on the floor. He said we didn't have a choice. I said, "Oh, but I do have a choice." Yeah, it got very heated, and that's how things were left. It was left up in the air. I mean, for what Andy did for our ballpark, you would think that the Rox would give him a private suite at a nice hotel. That still baffles me. So I went on the road trip and decided that if when I returned that this was still an issue, I was just going to pack up my car and head back to Florida. I got back to Brockton, nothing more was said about it. So I tried to get back to work and concentrate on getting ready for calling our home opener. Nothing was going to spoil things for me or for my listeners. And nothing could put a damper on our home opener, right? Well, I didn't count on Mother Nature hating baseball as much as Dave Eccles hated broadcasters. Be sure to click the subscribe button to follow my wild and wacky journey with the Brockton Rox because more episodes are on the way. Thanks for watching.